Hey everybody, it's Ryan Hodge, broker, owner at the Realty firm, and we are in Oxford County today for another episode of the No Secret Agents podcast, where we look to showcase our agents, their brilliance, contributing to their communities, to their clients, and of course, the real estate industry. And today I'm honored to have Nicole Schell meeting us in one of her listings, and she, I believe, has staged it, which we will get to. It is gorgeous here. We're spending a day with all of our Oxford County members. And Nicole, welcome.
Thank you, Ryan. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much for doing this, your contribution to our project here. And we'd love to hear a little bit about how you got into real estate, your ties into the Oxford County community, and a little bit more about you. So when did you start and how's it going?
So I ended up being fully licensed in 2021. And fun little fact is the first home I ever listed was my own house. So got my license, was on board with Brad and Becky, and ASAP listed my own house. And obviously that was at the peak of COVID craziness too. So it did sell over a weekend. And then it felt like ever since then, I mean, obviously it's a bit of a roller coaster, but sort of off to the races. And I do think getting to list my own home sort of set me up in a great way from the beginning. But yeah.
And so short period of time in the business, all things considered, but what I would say is a tremendous amount of success.
Oh, thank you.
Which is, I get to see it all day long. A lot of people don't have the success that you've had.
Oh, thank you.
We'll get to that in a little bit, but I'm curious, Oxford County was the second market that the Realty firm entered. We're in 5 markets now and continue to grow that. Much different than London, where, we're a larger city. Oxford County's smaller community. How important is community to you, both personally and professionally?
Oh, without a doubt, I would say it's everything when it comes to the perceived success that I might have. It's all based on, growing up and my deep roots in this community, my ancestral roots in the community. And then one of the biggest things is, I think, being immersed in serving in a restaurant in the community for over a decade, and then building relationships through that over and over, and just learning how to talk to people, connect with people, be good to people, and how important that is. Because as a server, I obviously sometimes witness people not being good to me, right? So just massive learning experience all around. Alongside that, I also was starting my own small business. I baked wedding cakes. So I was learning the ins and outs of marketing and social media in doing that as well, coinciding with these real life being in front of people situations and serving. So I really attribute my being able to connect with people and work with people on those two situations that I kind of built.
So community is a huge part of it.
Huge part.
I would also say your attention to detail in the community is excellent as well, but also inside of your listings. And I've been doing this for 17 years, and I have not had very many homes that look like this as far as my listing goes. Take us through a little bit about staging and your process, because it's different than most.
Oh, thanks. So for me, staging was something that I always wanted to do because, I ended up going to university for English and sociology sort of as a fallback, really. I was accepted to the interior design program at Ryerson.
Okay.
And I was on the wait list. So I really held out hope until like the week before, the program started. And then I kind of conceded and went to McMaster and finished my my undergrad in English, thinking that I was going to pursue a life of teaching. And, I've always been a person who needs to make things. I need to work with my hands. I come from a long line of people who are the same. My dad built an elevator in our house for no reason other than he needed to do something.
Wow.
My grandmother, a long line of bakers too, just people that need to be making things, period. So real estate, when I got into the industry, I used to beg my mom to take me through open houses on the weekends. That's literally what we would do. I always just loved to be in homes. And then when I realized that I sort of could, help to present these homes in the best way possible through staging, I thought this is something that I have to do. So my business partner and she actually bought the first home that we staged, which was my sister-in-law's property. But as soon as we did that, we were sort of off to the races. And I think that my whole sentiment behind what I do is that I always want to be the agent who's going to do the most to present any property that I'm involved with in the very best light it can be presented in. I want to be the person who's going to go above and beyond to make sure that happens, because frankly, it's going to make my job easier once it goes to be listed, and my clients are just going to have a better end result, which in turn is a better end result for everyone. So
totally.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. And I'll share, we learned from our mistakes, and, my spouse, Sandra, at the company would always say, I got too transactional at the earlier stages of my career where I wasn't doing any staging, or I wasn't, I wasn't putting that care in. And I think that when you do, and at the level that you do, it's, phenomenal. That pays dividends in the end as well, as far as repeat and referral business,
Right.
The overall client experience that they see exactly what you just said. And I would think that that's really what sets you apart from other agents, as far as putting so much into that listing and with your clients.
Right. Yeah. I do always, Tiff is always sort of telling me that, I do take things very personally, I feel like, and I'm trying to work through that. But I try to, and she always says, you'll develop a bit of a thicker skin over time, and it'll. But I don't want to at the same time, because I do think that if I have a superpower, it's probably that I care so much. I care so much about all of my clients. I care about every part of their process, and I don't take it lightly at all that they choose to work with me. So I'm always going to go and do the very most for them.
I love that. And I'm curious then, because, and I was talking to Tiffany about it in one of the episodes, real estate agents don't have the greatest reputation often. I talked to another one of our members as well about this on an episode, as far as, a few bad apples spoil it for the rest of us at times. When you come into an industry and you've got a lot of detail-oriented interests, philosophies, making everything exceptional, but the reputation at times isn't so great. Is that one of the main whys for why you do what you do as well, as far as
Totally.
just raising the bar in this industry that needs that more and more?
Yeah, I definitely hope to. I think that, like you said, a few bad apples sort of spoil the whole bunch, but I just want people to see and have my clients experience that it's just not the reality. It doesn't need to be like that, especially in a small town. Like, we're all working with people who we know outside of this transaction, in so many different ways. So, the priority is definitely changing the rhetoric and the client experience as a whole.
How have you managed to do that? Because, you get in basically during pandemic time.
Yeah.
You sell your house, young family.
Yes.
And selling multiples times the average realtor, as far as, productivity goes. So kudos to you, but how do you make it all work?
Well, it's not without effort, that's for sure. And there's it's not without feeling like, when I'm really giving to one thing, like work or trying to build staging or, my clients, then I'm probably feeling really guilty about my motherhood experience or my, marriage at that time, or feeling like my house isn't kept up the way I want it to be, anything like that. But I don't know. I just think it all balances out in the end. Like, it's all kind of a wash. And I think that, I don't know. It's just, I think that ultimately, everything comes back to my focus being relationships and the connections that I have in this community. Yeah.
With the family as well, too, I would think, because I get it. social media is something that, everything's a highlight reel. We look at people's lives and think that, it's all perfect. And I get it. I mean, I'm on the golf course with the kids, but people are messaging from the brokerage or for, a client. I'm not paying attention to my kids' golf swing at times, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm the worst dad ever because I'm
totally,
so business driven. But it comes full circle as well, and we are who we are, right?
I think it's so good. Like it's to me, my kids are sort of starting to really understand. Definitely my oldest, who's 7, he understands what I do, and more he wants to be involved in it, like helping to do, he'll come to look at a house that I've just staged and he'll be like, oh, I want to help do and he will help. He'll help me move things, or we were just handing out flyers for the food drive and he wants to do it all. He doesn't even want me to help. So it's like,
awesome.
It's definitely makes me feel really proud to see them take an interest in what I'm doing. And I think grow more and more to respect the fact that they see that I care so much about what I do and how much I love it.
Plus, I think that, we've had this switch in society that, hard work is almost condemned.
Right. Yeah.
And so, I want my boys to know what hard work looks like.
We talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
We'll be outside doing it and I'll just say like, oh, I love to work hard. It feels so good to work hard, right? Because it does. I love a good problem and I love to work hard.
Now, as teenagers, my boys don't necessarily subscribe as much.
Oh,
but
I'm sure that mine will get there.
I believe that it will come full circle as well.
Oh, it will, for sure.
How are you feeling about the current market and the time that we're in? Because drastically different than a few years ago.
Drastically different. Yeah. So it has been interesting for me, right, to start at just this peak moment. But you know what? I've always been a person who just was paying attention to the real estate market. Obviously, I wasn't as in it as I am now, but I've always been paying attention. I think the word that, based on the political climate and economic climate, is just, it's just this general feeling of uncertainty amongst everyone, amongst the public and buyers and sellers. But you know what? Real estate is always going to be happening. Transactions are always going to need to happen. People always need to move. And I just think that the conversations that I'm having with my clients is just that really any market that we're in, if you're buying and selling, it's all relative in that instance, right? So
for sure.
Yeah, but there definitely is an uncertainty lingering still, I think, because of our neighbors to the south more than anything. But yeah.
Yeah, it's been a different experience all around this spring. I thought that, the way the market ended in 2024, lots of activity, everybody's excited. Yeah. People are doing business, but I think that just that, even the weather delay.
Totally.
Right? Like we've seen some different factors this year for sure. What do you do to stay sharp and focused inside of this market and, like you said, times of uncertainty?
I would say just always trying to pay attention, just paying attention to our hot sheets, talking to agents, other agents, not just within our team, but as much as I can, just to see their perspective on things. And then just being out in the community as much as possible to know what the public is talking about, right? Because once you're a realtor, anywhere you go, people are asking you what the market is. Yep. And I kind of like to turn it around and ask them, like, well, what are you hearing? What's your feeling on it?
I love that. That's great. What advice would you give to somebody thinking about getting into real estate right now?
Just to prepare yourself for the emotional roller coaster of it, because it is. You'll be if you have a personality anything like mine, you'll be laying awake a lot at night, thinking that people are mad at you for reasons beyond your control. But I think at the same time, what an incredibly gratifying experience to help people with one of their biggest things, aside from their family, their biggest thing.
For
usually.
sure.
Yeah.
My first broker used to say that real estate can be the best business in the world one day, and then very next day be the worst.
Or even in the same day.
Yeah. Even in the same day, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. 2025 outlook. What is in store for you?
For me, I'm focusing on growing my staging business. Okay. We've built a large storage warehouse. So just hoping to get more and more clients in and out of Oxford County and grow things there. And then just still focusing on, more of a, always a client-based relationship where I'm just focusing on doing the best for them. Because I think the more I focus on that, that's where the next thing comes from. If I hone in on my client experience, that's where my continued growth is going to come from.
Love that. Let's talk about staging for a second, because I think it's important. I know that it's important. Is it more important or as important now in this market where homes aren't selling as much to stage versus the market when everything's selling?
Yeah, I think it's probably more important. But in my mind, it's always important. And like the thing is, when we talk about staging, everyone thinks, oh, you have to, take everything out and make it this whole show home. And that's not what it needs to be. It can be an editing that happens and then we're bringing in just a few pieces to, highlight things.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be a whole, remodel that happens of a space. There's a way to do it. And so it's something that I offer to every single one of my listings. I'll make a suggestions list, then we do edits, and then I'll bring in just a few touches that I think really help to showcase any space.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love that. And I've learned a lot about that too, because I was just say, no, we're not going to stage at the home. It's going to take us months.
Oh yeah, no.
But it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. It can be like, Tiff's going to call me tonight. I know she is. And be like, I need an accessory stage on Friday.
Right.
And you know what? We can make it happen usually because it's not, like I said, it's not what people think it is. It doesn't have to be. And yes, we can have a vacant home and we can stage it to look like a furniture store in the best way. But it doesn't have to be that. We call it an accessory stage where it's a much smaller scale. Like I said the word, but an editing that happens.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Where can people find you in terms of your real estate business, in terms of staging? Where can we find you? Because we're going to post everything on all of our channels, but for their information.
So I'm focused definitely in terms of social media. I'm really just an Instagram girl.
IG. Okay.
I'm on Facebook and I'm sharing everything that I'm putting on Instagram to Facebook, but I've always just been an Instagram girl. So I'm Nicole Schell Real Estate.
Okay.
And then Nicole Schell Real Estate on Facebook. And then my staging business is Whitewood Staging on Instagram as well.
Perfect. Awesome. Yeah. It has been an honor to have you here and to connect further and again in this beautiful space that we can give you full credit for. And of course, your clients. Yeah. This has been another episode of the No Secret Agent podcast here at the Realty firm, where we look to lead, serve, and inspire others both inside and outside of the industry. Today we had Nicole Schell on. Stay tuned for all of the full episode, and we look forward to seeing you real soon.